Okay, artists, today we are going to be making our very own little books. You have been learning about being an illustrator, and we illustrated a picture that kind of tells a story about Penguin Pete and what he might be doing. So in this picture, he has a snowball in his hand, and we could say maybe this is an older sibling or his mom is building a snowman. So I decided to make a story called The Snowball Fight. Now in order to make my book, first I need to make sure that my picture is done. Do that first. Second, when you finish your picture, then you can make a book. So you can start with 2 or 3 pieces of paper. I'm going to start with 2. Realize if you think you have a longer story, you might want 3. You're going to take these pieces of paper and you are going to fold them in half. So I have my 2, I'm going to line them up together and I'm going to fold them in half, meeting the corners. So once the corners are together, then I just take my hands and I go flat. And I push this seam so it's nice and flat. And I should have pages of a book. All right, so if you pick 2, you'll have 4. If you put a third one in there, you'll have 6 because it doubles when you fold it. Then you have to decide how you're putting your book together. Are you going to punch 2 holes and have yarn, or are you going to staple it? So I've decided for this book I'm going to punch holes. You could punch more than 2 holes if you want to kind of weave it through. 2 is probably the easiest because then I can just tie a bow. Then you're going to get a piece of string and put it through. And now you don't have to have a bow. You could cut the strings or tie a knot. So maybe I'll do that for this one to make it a little different. So if I wanted a bow, I would, just like I'm tying my shoe, I would make a little bow and wrap it around. But I've decided I'm going to just make a knot. So I'm going to take my string and put it through and pull and make a knot. And I would cut my string ends off. Okay, so that's another way you can make a book. So these 3 ways. Now once you finish that, you're going to first get a pencil and draw, and I've already done that. You can see my story. So the snowball fight. I was looking at this picture and deciding what is happening in this picture. So the snowball fight, this is the cover, so you need to decide what is going to be on the cover. This is the only place where I want you to put words. Just do your best sounding it out or ask me and I can help. So you need to come up with a title for your story. So I can see he's got a snowball and he's about to do something, so I wanted to write a story about it. On the inside, it can just be a picture book. You do not have to put words, but you can if you want to. So here we have the mom. You can see I matched it with her hat and her scarf. And she said, "Pete, let's build a snowman." And here's Pete. And I tried to make it look like him so we could know who this is in the story. It says, "Okay," said Pete, but then Pete came up with a better plan. And he started to build some snowballs. And as Mom worked hard building the snowman, Pete was doing something else. He was making snowballs and started a snowball fight. It says, "Woohoo!" You can see the snowballs flying back and forth. Now, once I drew it with my pencil, it is time to make it look more finished, like a book. Like the front cover I have Sharpied. So the next step after you pencil. So first we make sure our picture is done. Then we pencil our drawing so we can erase any lines we don't want. Then you can Sharpie. So I want you to go over all your pencil lines. A lot of times pencil makes it look unfinished. So we don't want to see any pencil. So cover up all of your pencil lines with Sharpie. And after you have the whole thing Sharpied, so I'll just do this page. But Sharpie your whole picture. Then you need to color. So pencil, Sharpie, color. Pencil, Sharpie, color. Because if there's any lines I want after I do this, I can erase them. So I would go ahead and Sharpie my whole thing. And the very last step, and I'd want to do my words too, down here, if you have words. Remember, It can just be a picture book. You can tell a story with just pictures. So if you're like, Mrs. Green, I don't want to write anything inside my book, then tell us a story by the details you add in your pictures. So when we flip through it, we can kind of figure out what is happening. When I get done sharpening everything, I need to decide how I'm going to color it. I can use crayons, I can use markers, I could use colored pencils, you decide. So I've decided I'm going to use markers for mine. So once I get done with all of my pencil lines, and we'll pretend mine is done, I'm going to grab and start, well, we can at least do his eyes. I would do his feet. In my picture are orange, so I'm going to make his feet orange in this one as well, along with his beak. So I would look back at my picture and look at what color is his scarf. It's kind of a deep red or maroon and a yellow. So I want it to match my picture, so I would get those same colors. Okay? Have fun. This looks a little more purple. So I could put a red over top. Have fun, be creative, come up with your story for your picture. Can't wait to read them.